Hello everyone. Today the topic of our webinar is DevOps and Agile practice. It has been hosted by Agile Consulting. So today we'll talk about DevOps and the connection between DevOps and Agile. So hi, I'm Sadur Rahman. I'm a software architect and a lead DevOps engineer working for an US-based software company. These are some of my achieved certificates. I am Microsoft certified professional. I also am certified Scrum professional, Scrum master, developer, and product owner from Scrum Alliance. I am also a safe agilist. For last more than 2 years, I am leading a DevOps team in my current organization. I was also responsible for creating the whole DevOps infrastructure from scratch over there. So, what's our agenda for today? In today's webinar, we are going to talk about why DevOps, then what is DevOps, and then how it is an agile practice and how it is connected to agile development. So, okay, let us start. First, why DevOps? Because it hurts the most. What hurts the most? Actually, DevOps is one of the hottest topics in the technical world for some time now. When I tried to dig out the real reason behind it, I came to know that it is because it hurts the most. I always believe that the thing you should fix first is what hurts you the most. Historically, the inability to produce code that our users wanted within budget and in a timely manner was the biggest pain. Development took months, if not years, and at the end of all that time and effort, what we delivered was not what our users expected. Our development process had to be fixed fast because that was what hurt most them. Because the process of software development was so bad, the quality of the code was also in question. So the need for innovation on the system side of technology work was increasing. And then a giant was born, which is called DevOps. When I tried to search and find out the real definition of DevOps, I found out hundreds of different ones in the web. Some of them are really long and complex. But if you ask me personally, I would go for one of the simplest ones to define DevOps, which is DevOps is the union of people, process, and products to enable continuous delivery of value to our end users. Here, I am very deliberate in the terms used in this definition. I choose value over software. DevOps is not just automating a pipeline so we can quickly deliver software. Our goal is to deliver value. The term end user also was very carefully chosen. The value we produce must reach our end users. If the value only reaches the development and QA environments but is held up before reaching production where it can be realized by our end users, we are still failing. It is very important to realize that DevOps is not a product. You cannot buy DevOps and install it. DevOps is not just automation or infrastructure as code. DevOps is people following a process enabled by products to deliver value to our end users. The best way to define DevOps in depth is to use a parallel method to the definition of a similarly complex term, which is Agile development. Agile development, according to Agile Manifesto, consists of 4 different levels of concern. I have added a fifth, the tooling level. Talk about Agile and DevOps can get way too obsessed with tools, but pretending they don't exist is also unhelpful. So now let me go through to the Agile development levels. First one is Agile values. This is the top level philosophy. Usually agreed to the embodied in the Agile Manifesto. These are the core values that inform Agile. The next one is Agile Principles. It is generally agreed upon strategic approaches that support these values. The Agile Manifesto cites a dozen of these more specific principles. You do not have to buy into all of them to be agile, but if you do not subscribe to many of them, you are probably doing something else, not agile. The next one is agile methods. Agile methods are more specific process implementations of the principle. XP, Scrum, your own homebrew process, this is where the philosophy gives way to operational playbooks of how we intend to do this in real life. None of them are mandatory, just possible implementations. The next one is Agile practices. Agile practices are highly specific tactical techniques that tend to be used in conjunction with Agile implementations. None are required to be Agile, but many Agile implementations have seen value from adopting them. Stand-ups, planning poker, backlogs, CI, all the specific artifacts a developer uses to perform their work belongs to Agile practices. And now the fifth one, which I actually invented, that is Agile tools. This is specific technical implementations of these practices used by teams to facilitate doing their work according to these Agile methods. That can be any tools like Jira Agile or planningpoker.com, etc. Now, ideally, the higher levels inform the lower levels. People or organizations that pick up specific tools and practices without understanding the fundamentals may or may not see benefits, but this cargo cult approach is generally considered to have suboptimal results. I believe the different parts of DevOps that people are talking about map directly to these same levels of agile development. Let me show, or let me tell you how. So this is the DevOps development process, which has in the same way 5 levels. First one is DevOps values. I believe the fundamental DevOps values are effectively captured in the Agile Manifesto, with perhaps one slight emendation to focus on the overall service or software fully delivered to the customer instead of simply working software. The next one is DevOps principles. There is not a single agreed upon list, but there are several widely accepted attempts. Infrastructure as code is a commonly cited DevOps principle. I personally believe that DevOps at the conceptual level is mainly just the widening of Agile principles to include systems and operations instead of stopping its concerns at code checking. Then the next one is DevOps methods. Some of the methods here are the same exact as like Agile methods. You can use Scrum with operations, Kanban with operations, although usually with more focus on integrating ops with dev, QA and product in the product teams. There are some more distinct methods like visible ops style change control and using the incident command system for incident response. The set of these methodologies are growing. A more thoughtful approach to monitoring in an area where common methodologies have not been well defined, for example. Then comes DevOps practices. Specific techniques used as part of implementing the above concepts and process are called DevOps practices. Continuous integration and continuous deployment. Give your developers a pager and put them on call using configuration management, metrics and monitoring schemas, a toolchain approach to tooling. Even using virtualization and cloud computing is a common practice used to accelerate change in the modern infrastructure world. And finally come the DevOps tools. DevOps tools are the tools you would use in the commission of these principles. In the DevOps world, there has been an explosion of tools in release, such as Jenkins, Travis, TeamCity, configuration management tools like Puppet, Chef, Ansible, orchestration tools like Zookeeper, Noah, Mesos, then monitoring tools, visualization and containerization tools like AWS, OpenStack, Vargan, Docker, and many more. While, as with Agile, it's incorrect to say a tool is a DevOps tool in the sense that it will magically bring you DevOps. There are certainly specific tools being developed with the express goal of facilitating the above principles, methods, and practices, and a holistic understanding of DevOps should incorporate this layer. Now, in the end, DevOps is a little tricky to define, just like its older brother Agile, but it is worth doing. I do what Scrum book says, so I am doing Agile is as erroneous as I am using Chef, so I am DevOps, right? To be a successful Agile or DevOps practitioner, it is really important to understand all the layers that go into it and what a given DevOps implementation might contain or not contain. In the end, what DevOps hopes to bring to Agile is the understanding and practice that software is not done until it is successfully delivered to a user and meets their expectation around availability, performance, and pace of change. So that is the end of the webinar. If you want to connect with me, these are my social networking information. You can connect through email, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook. So thank you for participating in this webinar. I also conduct 2 days DevOps training program in India, UAE, Singapore, Bangladesh, and some other countries on behalf of Agile. If you have any questions regarding today's webinar, feel free to type those in your window. If you have any queries regarding my upcoming training session, please email me or Agile. You can also check Agile's training calendar also. If you want us to organize a training session regarding DevOps or Agile development only for your own organization, you can also contact us. Thank you very much. So now I'll take the questions. So if you have any questions, so please feel free to type and let me try to help and answer those questions.